Wall Street is trading with a tint of pessimism. Investors are mulling over financial records of large U.S. companies. Besides, they expect Congress to pass a new stimulus package. The U.S. dollar is making an upward correction ahead of the policy update from the Federal Reserve. However, it is premature to predict the greenback's uptrend. Today, the US dollar index is regaining footing. In the early New York trade, it rose 0.15%. Then it stalled its growth and settled at 93.73. Despite a positive dynamic, it is too early to speak about a trend reversal. The medium and long-term outlook is still bearish, so it does not make sense to open long deals. The best idea is to wait until the index trades firmly above the level of 93.75, where analysts spot a medium-term trend line. The U.S. equity market created the conditions for the U.S. dollar's advance, but investors take this scenario with a pinch of salt. Indeed, investors cannot neglect fundamentals for the broad-based weakness of the greenback. Meanwhile, the U.S. dollar is taking a pause ahead of the Fed's policy decisions and the approval of the new stimulus package. These events are likely to support confidence in Wall Street. Futures on the U.S. benchmark stock indices opened today in the red amid risk aversion. The Dow Jones slipped 0.49% in the early American session to trade at 26,367. The S&P 500 was 0.4% down at 3,219.62. The long-term outlook for the Dow Jones is the downtrend. Nevertheless, the index is struggling for the upward target of 26,500 since yesterday. Today, traders are alert to the Consumer Sentiment Index for the U.S. Fresh data mirrors headwinds in the domestic economy. The Consumer Confidence Index climbed to 92.6 in July, having undershot the forecast for 94.50. Meanwhile, crude oil has been trapped in a narrow trading range. Oil prices have been weighed down by a revival of the U.S. dollar and worries about global demand for fuel. WTI accelerated its downward correction in the evening trade, but the overall bias is still bullish. Like other commodity currencies, the Canadian dollar is benefiting from the greenback's weakness. The loonie also found support from optimism in the oil market. Today, the Canadian dollar is losing ground, so the currency pair reversed upwards, testing the level of 1.3400. The driving forces for the pair are events in the US and Canada's economic calendar, which is empty today. You've watched Daily Financial News with me, Anna Kasatkina. Thank you for watching and subscribe to our YouTube channel to always keep track of the latest financial events. See you back tomorrow.